I credit all of my personal, professional success, everything good that's happened in my life, I kind of credit to my faith. So that's.
Most people have heard about Mark Wahlberg, famous celebrity movie star. But a lot of people don't know he's actually super serious about his faith in God. Let's take a look at a recent interview he had sharing about his faith in God.
It is Ash Wednesday, the first day of Lent, and for many Christians, it is an opportunity to focus more closely on their relationship with God.
Our next guest is best known for his incredible film and television career, but he's here today as a paid spokesperson for the Hallow app to talk about prayer and faith. Please welcome to the studio, Mark Wahlberg.
So good to see you, man.
So I think it might surprise some people to see you here talking about your faith. We don't see celebrities really talking about their faith that much.
Hold on, why is that? Why, if you have a relationship with the Lord Jesus and he is your everything in this world, why on earth are people not talking about that, especially when you're a celebrity in the movie film industry?
Why do you think this is so important to share this?
Well, it's such a big part of my life. I credit all of my personal, professional success, everything good that's happened in my life, I kind of credit to my faith. So that's where it kind of starts for me. That's the foundation, and certainly want to share that people with the routine, the discipline, the work ethic, all of those things are things that I like to share, and I try to encourage people to be the best versions of themselves.
And you've become the spokesperson for an app that was created to sort of bring everybody together and pray. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I just saw that it was saying that I was a paid spokesman. I mean, I've been called to do this. I've always felt like, I've been blessed for a reason. It's not to forget about all the hardships that I face and the things that I've had to overcome. It's really to kind of, encourage people that despite where they come from or the things that they've had to overcome, there isn't anything they can't accomplish if they're willing to do the work, both personally and professionally. So I had made a movie called Father Stu, and that was my love letter to the Lord. And then it was like, okay, well, that was just the entry point. And now, you have to continue to get people closer to the Lord, and get people to work on themselves as well.
And how has prayer changed your life?
It really just kind of keeps me centered. It keeps me focused. I obviously have lots to be grateful for, but I know there's lots for me to do. With these blessings, how do I utilize that? How do I utilize my platform?
I'd love to ask him more about this. He says all of his success he contributes to his faith. And that's an interesting statement to me, because is it the faith that we have in a religion or a God that brings us success? Or is it God himself doing it through our faith? At first hearing this, it almost seems like using religion or using his faith to better himself and become a better version of himself. Kind of like a self-help mentality, utilizing spiritual practices for your own benefit. Now, I don't know if he would actually say that or agree with that, but it's something that people talk about today, and many people even go to church or go and worship or pray just for their own personal benefit. Which, yeah, we're definitely blessed when we turn to the Lord and we give ourselves to him and follow his ways. But we do it not simply to better ourselves, but to bring God glory and make him happy with the life we're living. It's all for him, not for us.
It really just kind of keeps me centered. It keeps me focused. I obviously have lots to be grateful for, but I know there's lots for me to do. With these blessings, how do I utilize that? How do I utilize my platform? How do I continue to encourage others to do the same? And bringing people together. And there's so much divide in the world. It really is a blessing that today on Ash Wednesday, it also happens to be Valentine's Day. It is love that's going to bring people together. And it's going to love that's going to reconnect people. So it's a blessing. And it's funny because I've done a lot of things in my career, but I've never had more feedback and.
Let me just say this. I like Mark Wahlberg. I feel like the Lord is using him. I mean, the guy's on national TV with a black ash cross over his forehead. We're about to get into more of the interview. Everybody would agree with what he's saying right now. The whole world needs love. The poor need love, the rich need love, everybody needs love in the entire world. Problem is many people are using the name of love to promote wicked agendas. What's going to bring people together is not necessarily just love itself, but Jesus Christ himself.
Feedback than about the Hallow app. You know, it really is, especially after COVID. I mean, I had a huge disconnect. I hadn't been to church for a year, and I was really kind of lapsing and, you know, struggling with lots of things. We all face lots of difficulty, and that gives me the comfort and the ability to deal with loss and disappointment and struggling and suffering. And, you know, if we're lucky enough to live long lives, we'll all face all of those things.
And so many people during COVID, you know, that community that is also church not having that really hard for people.
Yeah. I found myself really kind of being lost for a while.
We were talking this morning about what we're all giving up for Lent, so I'm curious what...
Many people have experienced what Mark's talking about. When they get disconnected from community, from fellowship, from the other Christians in their lives, they begin to fall away. And here's the thing, like whoever you are watching this right now, you need to be able to develop a deep relationship with the Lord on your own. You need to be with others for sure. I'm not saying don't go to church or be in fellowship, but I'm gonna tell you this, your life may change at times. You may be like me and go do study abroad in Spain and be away from your Christian community for over a month and be surrounded by temptation. You need to be able to stand up against that stuff because of your personal relationship with God. I'm curious how many people go to church and they ride on the blessing of church, but not on their own intimate relationship with the Lord. Mark was away from church for a year, and he's saying within that year, he's starting to fall off. And I'm not trying to judge the man, but it brings up a super good point that you and I need to develop a personal relationship with God just in case if we're ever away from church, fellowship, community, because God is present now, not just in the Sunday church.
Planning to give up?
Well, you know, I've always, you know, it's been easy for me to, because I'm disciplined, to be able to give up drinking for 40 days or certain things with food and comforts, but I'm really just trying to do more and be better every day. You know, I think that's the goal. I think, you know, there is Lenten challenges for us on the Hallow app that really try to encourage people to lose the distractions and grow closer to God. But those are the things that when I'm doing that, I always feel like I'm growing and I'm getting better personally. So I'm trying to just do more. You know, continue to put out the positive messages and be an example, whether it's to people that I know, people that are watching me through various lenses, or, you know, my kids at home. You know, it's like I don't force them to go to church. I don't force them to pray with me every day, but they know that it's something that Dad has to do. So if it works for me, hopefully it'll be something that they naturally gravitate towards, as opposed to resenting me for making them go.
For making them do it.
Yeah.
On Super.
He mentions over and over about discipline. And I think most of us know, I mean, this dude wakes up early, he works out, he has a whole schedule where he's just doing it. He's grinding, man. But here's the thing. There are a lot of people in the world that are super disciplined. But discipline does not necessarily mean you're close to God. Discipline is a good natural characteristic. But discipline does not lead you necessarily to the kingdom of God. So a great temptation maybe for Mark Wahlberg is that he is so disciplined, he could earn his way to heaven. Now, I don't know if he would actually say that. But based on what I'm hearing over and over, discipline, what I do, focus, growing, getting better, I haven't really heard anything about the grace of God. That it's the grace of the Lord who gives us strength, the ability to overcome temptation, the ability to make a better life. Again, I don't want to criticize him too harsh. I know he's on national TV right now. He's trying to bring a positive message, unite people. But remember, we are saved by the grace of God, not by our discipline.
Sunday, the app had an ad where you led more than 100 million people in prayer. What was that like for you?
It's pretty incredible. It's pretty incredible. I think it just continues to grow. People are looking and searching for something and a deeper connection. People are struggling in lots of different ways, and we all do, no matter where you come from and from all walks of life. So having something that gives me that comfort and that peace, and also that strength and courage to persevere through the hard times and know that everything happens for a reason. Because even if you live to 100 years old, it's very short. And so the idea of heaven, it gives me great comfort.
We have this segment on the show called Faith Friday. I know it's not Friday, but it is Ash Wednesday, and we ask our guests to give us sort of words of wisdom as we head into the day and the weekend. So do you have any words of wisdom you could share?
I think, you know, well, prevention is always better than cure. And I think just finding a routine that allows you to stay a little bit more disciplined. I don't want anybody to have to live a boot camp type of existence, but you definitely want to be able to reward yourself for your hard work. But staying on the path of growing, working harder, and doing your part to contribute to making the world a better place.
But you look at someone like you, all these films that you've been in, this family, kids, a wife. How do you make time and how do...
If these guys were interviewing Jesus and said, what words of wisdom would you want to give to the nation and even the world? world. I'm curious what Jesus would say. In all honesty, if I had to take a crack at it, I'm pretty sure Jesus would say, don't look at yourself, look at God. Don't trust in your own abilities, trust in the Lord that made you. Again, I'm not trying to crack down on Mark Wahlberg, but we got to understand something. If we try to do this on our own, we are going to fail. If you try to do this on your own, you're going to fail. If I try to do this on my own, I'm going to fail. Pride comes before the fall, and that is such a trap to so many of us. Remember, Satan fell because of his pride, and many people today are falling into the trap of pride and losing their souls in the process. But here's the beautiful thing. God's grace is so amazing that if he's trying to bring somebody back to him and that person has pride, he can cause things to take place so that person wakes up. But I want to encourage you right now, every day, tell yourself, tell the Lord, tell others, you cannot do it without his grace. If we live in a way feeling we're self-sufficient, we're just setting ourselves up for destruction. Don't make your faith your focus. Make Jesus Christ your focus. Make the Lord of glory your focus. God bless you. So glad that you watched this video with Mark Wahlberg. I'm encouraged by him. I'm glad he's alive. I'm glad the Lord's using him. And if you want to watch another video that I made, you can click right here. I'm excited to tell more people about Jesus. I'm excited to encourage you and edify you because the Lord's coming back and it's time for us to get ready. God bless you.